Few things are as uplifting as the greatest moments in sports. And nothing brings us together quite like Team USA at the Olympic Winter Games. From NBC Universal's iconic storytelling to the innovative technology across Xfinity and Peacock, Comcast brings the Olympic Games home to America, sharing every moment with millions. When Team USA steps onto the world stage, we're not just watching, we're cheering together. This winter, we're all on the same team. Comcast, proud partner of Team USA.
When I lost my sight, I found a way to win.
Bank of America champions blind soccer player and coach Antoine Craig, and everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC.
This episode of Phillies Therapy was executive produced by Adam D., Andrew C., Andrew G., Joe M., Mary R., and Owen S. Thank you all for your support. To learn more about how you can support Phillies Therapy, be an executive producer, or just join our community over on Discord, go to patreon.com/Phillies Therapy. All right, on to the show. Hello, ladies, gentlemen, fanatics of all ages. That's what you were waiting for, right? The grand reintroduction to regular season baseball. The Phillies wrapped up their introductory series of the 2026 season by dropping the rubber match against the Texas Rangers as Jesus Luzardo gives up a couple home runs. The offense looks mostly pretty flat. And the season opening series falls on its face a little bit. The Phillies stand at 1-2. The first three games always ripe for confirming basically what you thought this team was going to be coming out of spring training. Did you think the offense was a bit of a concern? Well, guess what? 3 games proved you right. Did you think that maybe Jesus Luzardo was going to have a bit of a step back? Well, guess what? Through one start, you are absolutely correct. Is Christopher Sanchez a dude? On the other hand, you know it. That's right. 3 games tell the whole story. No, they don't. We're going to talk about him anyway, because that's what we do here on Phillies Therapy. We like to talk about this team, and we've got regular season baseball. The start of not the very last season, but the last normal season for a little bit. And so to join me, of course, to talk about this season opening series against the Texas Rangers, he is thawed out. He is de-iced from the cold temperatures of this weekend. We both got to experience the wonderful windy joy of 40 degrees on Saturday in that wild game. He is, of course, the Athletics' Matt Gill. Matt, hello. Happy Sunday night. The first series of the year is underway. Out of the way, really. And everybody's feeling good about this team.
I still can't believe that you attended Saturday's game and willingly sat in the stands for one of the coldest games I think I've ever attended. It was not the coldest. It was the coldest first pitch temperature the Phillies have played at home in 6 years, I think, or 7 years.
6 years?
So, yeah.
I was probably at that one too. 7 years, 2019?
Probably, yeah.
Something like that, yeah.
An odd series for a couple reasons. I think what jumps out to me is I went back and kind of rewatched a couple things. I was at all 3 games. I wanted to rewatch a few things, and you might cancel me for this, but like I didn't think that Aaron Nola or Jesus Luzardo pitched that badly. In fact, I actually think they both pitched kind of well, given the situation. Now they gave up 4 home runs total. Nola gave up 2 home runs. Luzardo gave up 2 home runs. That accounted for 8 runs in those 2 games, and the Phillies have now gone 22 innings without a dinger. And not to make this all about dingers, but they're important, and I think that was the story of this series. I don't know if there's any other way you can look at it. I mean, certainly we can dissect 3 games and try to extrapolate and pick, trends that we think are true or false. I don't know if I necessarily want to look at the first 3 games that way. The home runs were the story. Luzardo especially just is very weird because I thought it had really good stuff. And he even said after the game, he's like, this is better than I felt at any point in spring training. And he made a point, and obviously he must have, I don't know if he definitely didn't know this off the top of his head. He must have looked this up after he came out of the game.
Uh-huh.
He said, I only gave up one left on left homer on a sweeper last season. And sure enough, he's right. He threw 341 sweepers to lefty hitters last season. Lefty hitters batted 154 with a 231 slugging percentage against that pitch. Who do you think hit the only home run left on left sweeper against Jesus Luzardo in 2025?
The first name that comes to mind might be Shohei Ohtani.
Correct.
Okay.
September 17th. That's it.
Yeah.
He ends up giving up a left on left homer, and then he gives up. This was not, that was an okay pitch. The pitch to Andrew McCutchen, who apparently still alive. Very funny that the Pirates did not re-sign him because they thought he was cooked. Who knows? He might be, but he had a hell of a first weekend.
He sure did.
Yeah. And Luzardo did not throw him a great pitch. And Luzardo said afterward, he's like, just not a good pitch. And McCutchen hit a 3-run homer. And, that was pretty much the game. It was 5-0. Phillies starting a little bit, but not really. That was the game.
Yeah. I think what it really comes down to, and we've seen this at times, not just last year, over a couple of years, is when the Phillies are cold, and you could call this first series kind of cold. The first game was good, and then the rest of it has just been, a little bit flat.
Yeah, it's an elderly team, when they're cold,
well, it's like you and me. We're elderly millennials, right?
Yeah,
like
really.
It's the elder sense in that way. Now, when the Phillies are cold, their mistake pitches get clobbered, and the offense does not clobber their opponent's mistake pitches. It's a thing that's really hard to quantify exactly. I tried to do so when I looked at some of the harder hit balls throughout the series, and I just in a cursory glance, right? Just a quick little sort of exit velocities and like looking at outcomes, purely just outcomes. On Thursday and Saturday and today, the distribution of hard hit balls was fairly even. It's just that the Rangers got 5 extra base hits on their 12 hardest hit balls, and the Phillies had 1. Made a lot of outs. They only had 3 hits out of their 12 hardest hit balls, 4 from each game, I should say. I don't know if it's the exact 12. You get my point. The Rangers hit home runs. The Phillies did not. Kyle Schwarber's home run was the 5th hardest hit ball of Thursday's game, so that didn't even make my little arbitrary cut. It was just one of those things where the offense didn't punish mistakes, and when the Phillies pitchers did, it was hit out of the park. And that's it. That's how you lose 2 out of 3 games. They didn't look bad. I thought Aaron Nola was fine. I thought he did a nice job of keeping himself from, hitting one of his stereotypical spiral innings a couple of times. He battled back. He kept him to 3 runs over his 5 innings, and that was fine. Luzardo looked good stuff-wise. Yes, he did make a couple bad mistakes, and of course, that results in some big run totals. So it goes. I just think it's one of those series, and because it's the first one of 2026, it's all we have to go on. It's all we know of this team right now, right? Or these 3 games. It is their existence, or these 3 games. And they just looked a little flat and a little discouraging. It's not the best way to start a year, but that's why they play 162, right?
Yeah, 186 batting average for the Phillies in the first 3 games. It's their lowest in the first 3 games to begin the season since 2015, which was not a memorable year.
Yeah,
banner year. I think you can dissect every single guy in the lineup, which we will not do.
No.
And you can you can certainly nitpick and do even more than nitpicking on each guy. I think a few guys stood out to me. I wonder if they were the same for you. I thought Trey Turner had a really rough weekend. A lot of chasing. 2 double plays on Sunday, which is like something I didn't think I'd ever see. And sure enough, it was actually the 3rd time he's done that in his career, which I could not believe. It was the first time since 2021, I guess, at least. Not good at bats. Some ones that I thought were pretty uncompetitive.
Yeah.
I think Justin Crawford's at bats stood out for good and bad. There were some at bats where he was totally overmatched.
Yeah.
And that's not a great sign. I think he hung in there on some other bats, but he wasn't, I'd say he was not like what he was known for at AAA was sort of these kind of like rock fights where he's fouling off good pitches and staying alive and making the pitcher come into the zone and maybe give him a hittable pitch because the pitcher is just frustrated that he cannot get this guy out. Didn't see a ton of that in the first weekend. And, it's his first big league weekend. Like, it was cool. He swings the first pitch he sees in the major leagues and gets a hit.
Yeah.
He ends up with 2 signals at opening day. Very cool. Drew a walk, had a swinging bunt on Sunday. Mixed results. Defense was good. I thought he played a decent center field. He made that great catch in against the wall in center. Had a good throw. Almost threw a guy out from center at second base in Sunday's game.
Mm-hmm.
Arm played better than I thought it would, I think. Who else stuck out? Is it, Schwarber? A lot of strikeouts. I mean,
mm-hmm.
He got a hold of one on Sunday, but just not a ton of hard contact. Did anyone stick out to you, good or bad?
Well, I mean, the dagger of the game for me was Turner's at bat in the 5th inning on Saturday with the bases loaded when he just 3 straight whiffs, and it was just so deflating. Like, obviously that's not the reason they lost the game, but that really stunk. I haven't been impressed with the contact just in general from a lot of the offense. I blame some of the cold weather.
Not a lot of hard hit balls.
No,
like if we're I was struggling to think. Adolis Garcia had a really hard hit liner that was for the sacrifice fly,
mm-hmm.
And that was bases loaded. He got a hold of it, but that was like there weren't a lot of hard hit balls.
No.
Certainly not a lot of hard hit balls from Turner or Harper. Certainly not from JT Realmuto, who had a lot of strikeouts. He walked a couple times Sunday, but just not a lot of contact. Period for Realmuto. Not a lot of hard hit balls.
Harper, I believe, has yet to hit a ball 100 miles an hour, though he's come close for whatever that's worth to you. It's just kind of like the whole thing. You can look at each of these guys. You said you could dissect it, which again, I'm not going to do, but you could look at each of these guys in the lineup and be like, yeah, that's just kind of emblematic of how that series was on offense. Everybody just kind of didn't quite look themselves, or at least not the way you want them to look.
And it's a series in which they thought they were going to face Jacob deGrom, and they didn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and all Jake Latz does is come in and throw 4+ no-hit innings in a spot start.
And Rob Thompson said it after Sunday's game. It's like they simply, and it is pretty simple. They need to better starts. We're talking about 4 2/3 without a hit on Saturday, 5 innings without a hit on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Just totally unacceptable. You cannot. No matter how good your pitching is, you got it. And opening day was a great example of that. They sort of set the pace. Schwarber sets the pace, and then Sanchez is setting the pace, and 2 of your best players, are fueling some early inning success, and you sort of gain some momentum from there, and boom, takes a swing, and that's that. Just felt like they were behind, not just in the scoreboard, but just behind. Period. Right on Saturday and Sunday, and just like not able to totally climbing out of a hole, and didn't seem equipped at all to climb out of that hole, which is it's disappointing because you wait. I get why people are upset. You wait the whole off season for this. It was cold as hell. Well, that doesn't make sense, but it was cold. It was cold. You're really cold, and then you pay a lot of money for these tickets. And it's cold, and you're gonna be upset. There were quite a few boos. I've heard Harper get booed before at home. They were pretty good boos on Sunday. Boos for Trey Turner. I thought his at bats were just not. They were not good.
Yeah, they looked rusty.
Yeah,
they looked like they're just not. They're not in regular season form yet. They got time. They got plenty of time to catch up. It wasn't their best. There's still some edges to be polished. I was glad, for whatever this is worth, I was glad to see. This is really fishing. This is a very me thing, looking at the silver lining of a cloud here. I was very glad to see Kyle Backus come back out on Sunday and throw a scoreless inning, even though he gave up a couple base runners.
It wasn't great. He walked.
I know. It's not inspiring confidence.
It was not a great weekend for the lower leverage guys.
No.
Zack Pop did not throw nearly enough strikes.
No.
And we can talk a little bit about Otto Kemp in left field if you want to. That was when
Oh,
Pop was on the
man.
mound. But Pop and Backus did not throw enough strikes. Meza was okay in his 2 innings, at least, it was 2 scoreless, but he did throw more strikes. It's funny because the flip side of this is that the other guys, while they were not necessarily pitching in the highest leverage of spots, especially Brad Keller on Sunday, Keller, Alvarado, Banks, Bolin, I thought all had really good first innings of the season, and each of those guys only pitched 1 inning over the weekend. All 4 of those guys I thought had pretty impressive innings. Bolin, especially on opening day, and Keller on Sunday. Keller's stuff was way better than it was in the spring, which tells me that he was, treating spring training like spring training, I suppose. That would be the plus. The lower leverage guys, not great. And again, I don't. We talked about this going into the season. Like I don't see them being, locked in or married, for lack of a better term, to the back of that bullpen. And if they feel like they have to make a switch, I do think they'll make a switch. And I'm not saying they're going to do it on Monday. I don't think they will. But if they get to a point where they have to here in the first, the next week or so, like I think they will.
Few things are as uplifting as the greatest moments in sports. And nothing brings us together quite like Team USA at the Olympic Winter Games. From NBC Universal's iconic storytelling to the innovative technology across Xfinity and Peacock, Comcast brings the Olympic Games home to America, sharing every moment with millions. When Team USA steps onto the world stage, we're not just watching, we're cheering together. This winter, we're all on the same team. Comcast, proud partner of Team USA.
What would you like the power to do? Dig deep and ask it. Can you really live so far from the family you lean on? Will a broken nose break you, or will it make you?
Bank of America champions U.S. men's national team player Diego Luna, and everyone who dares to ask, what would you like the power to do? Bank of America, proud to be the official bank of U.S. Soccer and FIFA World Cup 2026. Bank of America N.A., member FDIC.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car's gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
The Maps app that came with your phone? It's fine if you enjoy waiting and guessing and inefficient routes. Or you could use MapQuest. MapQuest is back with live directions, real-time traffic, and faster routes. It moves when you move. Best of all, no printer needed. No paper. No more missed turns. Just you and the app. Get there fast with MapQuest. Download the MapQuest app on the App Store or visit MapQuest.com. MapQuest, still getting you there.
Yeah, it's kind of assumed and known that once Orion Kirkering is ready, one of those guys is going to go out. I don't expect there would be a change before that. They probably want to wait until Kirk is healthy and ready to be activated before they make a move like that, right?
Sure, but again, if the need arises, I mean, if one of your starters in the next few days doesn't go deep in the game, and all of a sudden you're like, well, we got to swap guys out. I mean, that is something they can do, and I don't think they're afraid to do that.
Yeah, no, that's fair. You would hope you're not pulling levers like that so early in the year, but I guess it does make sense. They do have 3 more games coming up against the Nationals without a Monday off day. They'll be off Thursday this week before getting one of those West Coast road trips out of the way early. The Nationals, for their part, you would hope that this is something of... Again, after 3 games, it's weird to be busting out these terms. This feels like a June or July term that I'm usually talking about, but it is kind of a get right series against the Nationals.
Already?
You could at least wash the taste of this opening series out of your mouth, because these last 2 games were not, they weren't the best. It wasn't the best baseball to watch. The Saturday game, especially being there, it was extraordinarily stupid. And me being the sicko idiot that I am, I loved it.
Think about it. I mean, like, they were a Jake Berger catch of a routine
Yes.
pop-up in foul territory
Yes.
from being shut out Saturday.
Absolutely.
You know, they lost that game 5 to 4 in innings, and there was, some frustration about how that 10th inning went. But I mean, really, that was way closer, the final score, than the actual game was. I mean, way 100%. Closer. So let's say Berger catches that. Now you're looking at the Phillies have scored, 8 runs in 3 games to start the season. Instead, it's 12, which looks a little better. But if we're being real, I mean, they scored essentially 8 runs in 3 games.
I think of that game, though, that is fair, and it's necessary context. But I think of that game as one of those where the Phillies had absolutely no business being in the game, and yet they almost stole it. And that's why I felt okay about Saturday's loss. I really did. In the grander scheme of the season, that's one that's just not going to bother me at all, looking back on it, nor will Sundays, really. Because this is just what happens 50 times a year. Plus, you lose games like that in that way. And they almost stole one, but they didn't. And so that goes as an L. Fine. Whatever. I can kind of let that one go. But it's just the way they went about it and the way things looked and felt for 8 innings until that 9th inning, miraculous comeback, the gifted comeback, almost fully materialized. It was... it's the double-sided coin, right? On my optimistic side of the coin versus the realistic side of the coin that you present. It's still an L either way for sure, but I take a little bit more of a positive spin on it and think it just lands with a little bit of a softer blow. That being said, Sundays that just wasn't good baseball. And I would like for them to use this national series to look better against a lesser team. This national team is not good. And they should,
they just took 2 out of 3 from the Cubs.
Yeah, I don't care. And I'm ready for this team to play better against the Nats. Do
you think they'll pitch around Joey Wiemer?
Joey 1,000 on base percentage Wiemer? Yeah.
The Babe Wiemer.
Babe Wiemer. It's just,
Who do you think had the hardest average exit velocity of Phillies hitters in the first 3 games? This actually surprises me. I just looked it up now. So I'm gonna issue a correction because I said this guy did not hit the ball hard.
Oh. Okay. Who was it then?
Real Muto, 95.3. But again, he didn't put a ton of balls in play.
Okay.
He only has 4 balls in play. I guess that's why. But lowest would be Bohm, Crawford, Harper. Yeah. I mean, not a lot of hard hit balls. Stott with a lot of stuff on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Harper with a lot of stuff on the ground. A lot of
Harper
4
with
threes.
a lot of stuff on the ground. Yeah. Yeah.
So it was flat. But that's why this Nationals team is a chance to get right,
They'll face a lefty in the first game, Foster Griffin. They're going to face it.
Here's the thing, right? How many times do the Phillies face a relative unknown, especially on a team like Washington or on the Marlins?
This is such an overplayed narrative because I once looked this up. It is,
but it isn't.
I did once look this up, like guys making their debuts against the Philly, etc. And it was like
it's half and half.
Yeah. We remember the ones where the guy shoves, and you're like, "Well, I never heard of that guy."
Yes,
Valente Bellozo.
Oh yeah, right. And then like the Tim Redding for me.
Tim Redding, yeah, God,
yeah. But look,
they'll face Foster Griffin, and then they're gonna face an opener, I think, on Tuesday in front of Zack Littell, and then Cade Cavalli in Wednesday's game. I think you'll see like PJ Poulin open on Tuesday. That's a name of a man who throws with his left hand arm, and he's in the Nationals bullpen. I'm going to read you the Nationals bullpen. Do you know everyone in their bullpen? We've got Clayton Beater, Cole Henry.
Yankees great. Yeah.
Brad Lord.
I remember Brad Lord from last year. Yeah.
Yeah. PJ Poulin, CNL Perez, who pitched for the Orioles for quite a few years. Yeah. Andre Granillo.
Oh boy. Okay.
Gus Varland, not Louis Varland. And Ken Waldachuk.
Oh, the A's great. Yeah, okay. By way of the Yankees, right?
Do you know who is joining the Nationals on Monday just in time for this Phillies series?
Who's that?
Curtis Mead.
Oh,
They traded for him, and he is going to be added to their roster on Monday.
oh, that'll make
And
his
he'll
Sanchez.
probably play Wednesday against Chris Sanchez.
Yeah, there we go. All right.
I think
So
I think they've faced each other since
I'm
the trade.
pretty sure they
I think
have,
they
yeah.
did, like either 2 years ago, maybe. What are your Taiwan and Andy Painter expectations?
Taiwan, I would just like for him to finish 5. Anything else is a bonus. And for
Okay,
Painter,
low expectations.
yeah, it's not. I'm not setting the bar too high there. I want to see how he looks, and I'll hope for more than 15 outs and just set the baseline there. For Painter, roughly the same, as long as he's efficient. I don't really care so much about exactly what his box score looks like at the end of that game. I mean, I do. I want the team to win, sure. What I'm talking about here is, does he have to fight to get through a lot of innings and a lot of, long at bats? Are we talking about a lot of 7+ pitch at bats that he's going through with guys fouling things off? They're getting to it enough. I want to see what the called and swinging strike, rate looks like for him. Hopefully the velo's there. Sure. I think we're all kind of expecting 96 rather than 99 for this start. Maybe he'll have a little bit of juice and throw harder.
Yeah, a little juice. And also the weather has improved.
It's
right?
good.
The forecast is much better for Monday and Tuesday night. Tuesday during the day, you're supposed to be 80 degrees now.
Beautiful.
So it won't be 80 at first pitch on Tuesday night, but it will be it'll be better, which is good for a Florida man, Andrew Painter.
Well, and speaking of could be better,
could be better. The Denver forecast for this coming weekend.
Well, yeah. Otto Kemp in left field. How long can that go?
I don't want to rush to judgment here, okay?
Uh-huh.
But I literally just finished writing my story for The Athletic. That'll be on the site on Monday morning. I feel like there's a short-ish leash here because I said this in the offseason and I stand by it. I would have liked to seen them make a better effort on Brandon Marsh's platoon partner. I think it was great that they finally went into an offseason saying he's not an everyday guy. We think he's a platoon, and we're gonna treat him as such. But then their actions did not really match their words because I think that Otto Kemp is a terrific story and a useful big league extra. I feel like he might be miscast in this role. He misplayed 3 balls in left field on Sunday. He caught one of them. He almost overran it, and he had to reach up over his head and make the catch, and I don't know how he did it. The other one he misplayed. It didn't result in an extra base. It could have. The third one he misplayed resulted in an extra base and a run, and it was a case of him just overplaying a ball where he thought he could catch a ball that both of them went off the wall and it bounced away from him, and he was just too close to the wall, and that's just inexperience. And I get it. He hasn't played a lot out there, but he also just spent 7 weeks really focusing on left field. I mean, he did not do a lot of work in the infield, and most of his time was spent in left field. And I get it, different ballpark. He did play a little left field last year, at Citizens Bank Park, but I don't know. Like, I feel like, Paul, they're going to get to a point possibly soon where they're like, is this better than Brian De La Cruz?
Yeah.
And I know that that's not, whatever. It's Brian De La Cruz, and we're talking about the platoon outfielder here. It's not a, make or break thing for this team, but it does feel like something that they're going to have to really monitor and evaluate here.
Yeah.
Is that being harsh? Like, it feels unfair to be talking about this already, but I don't know. I mean, like, Sunday's performance in the field was really it was not
got to be better.
It was not of major league quality. It was not of major league quality.
No, like that has to be better. It is. I think I would not expect him to be optioned out by the end of this week. Like this time next week, I don't I don't think that will happen, barring another just
That'd be
disaster.
surprising because they really like him, and they've made that quite clear for the last 6 months.
Long enough at this point. But he does have options, and Pedro Leon has options. He's on the 40. Like, they could do a little bit of mix and match, and they could. I'm not expecting it anytime soon. But a game like Sunday does kind of alert you to what
if he's going to play like that in left field, he better hit.
Yeah, exactly. If you got to have at least half of the equation. Again, 3 games, but you got to have half of the equation. Something has to play. You need something to carry you. And if it's not going to be your defense, you got to smoke the ball a little bit. Put good wood on it, hit it 100 miles an hour, be like, all right, I clank a couple out there in the field, but this is why you have me up here to mash against lefties. Hasn't really done that yet either. We'll see how he gets, a couple more chances to do that and see if anything improves, because it has to. So too soon to be like, oh yeah, the option is coming, but we've seen the lower end of it now right away, and that cannot hold. The center cannot hold if that's what it's going to be like.
Friday in Denver, weather permitting, is Rockies opening day, Rockies home opener. Do you know what right now with the probables, what the projected matchup is?
I would like for you to tell me.
It's
I just looked it up. I just looked it up.
Aaron Nola versus Michael Lorenzen.
It's beautiful. Oh, it's so good. And I didn't realize Jose Quintana landed there.
And Sugano, the Japanese righty. Righty or lefty?
Righty. Yeah.
Yeah, they have 2 lefties, Freeland and Quintana. Ryan Feltner, the guy who took a line drive off the skull the last time he pitched against the Phillies. They're not good. They're very bad. They are really bad. They just got swept by the Marlins. They are going to Toronto next.
Oh boy.
So yeah, you get 6 games here this week, Paul, between now and the next time that I speak to you. And you should win 4 out of 6.
Want to hear something funny?
Sure.
As of right now, the Phillies as their team defense currently rank 2nd overall in outs above average and are 1st.
Is that updated?
I believe it is. I think Fangraphs updates in real time because that's where I'm looking at it right now. So
2nd in outs above average and 1st in what?
Statcast fielding run value. So there you go. It's not all doom and gloom, right? The defense has been good.
I'm not quite sure how that's possible. Yeah, well, that doesn't seem accurate.
Maybe it's not all good.
These defensive
I tried. I tried. All right. Get off my back, all of you.
They played great infield defense in this series.
Yeah.
That is one thing that stuck out. I mean, I don't know, you're looking for silver. They played really good infield defense. Sosa made some good plays at second base. Bone made some good plays all weekend. Turner had a couple good ones. Yes. I mean, the infield played very well.
Right.
Yes.
Few things are as uplifting as the greatest moments in sports. And nothing brings us together quite like Team USA at the Olympic Winter Games. From NBC Universal's iconic storytelling to the innovative technology across Xfinity and Peacock, Comcast brings the Olympic Games home to America, sharing every moment with millions. When Team USA steps onto the world stage, we're not just watching, we're cheering together. This winter, we're all on the same team. Comcast, proud partner of Team USA.
I sold my car in Carvana last night.
Well, that's cool.
No, you don't understand. It went perfectly. Real offer, down to the penny. They're picking it up tomorrow. Nothing went wrong.
So, what's the problem?
That is the problem. Nothing in my life goes as smoothly. I'm waiting for the catch.
Maybe there's no catch.
That's exactly what a catch would want me to think.
Wow, you need to relax.
I need to knock on wood. Do we have wood? Is this table wood?
I think it's laminate.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's close enough.
Car selling without a catch. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.
The Maps app that came with your phone? It's fine if you enjoy waiting and guessing and inefficient routes. Or you could use MapQuest. MapQuest is back with live directions, real-time traffic, and faster routes. It moves when you move. Best of all, no printer needed. No paper. No more missed turns. Just you and the app. Get there fast with MapQuest. Download the MapQuest app on the App Store or visit MapQuest.com. MapQuest, still getting you there.
Thank you for calling the Bombas Comfort Line. Bombas make socks, slippers, tees, and underwear made with the highest quality materials. Press 1 for comfort, 2 for style, 3 for donation.
You chose style. Bombas is styles for whatever you enjoy. You can run in Bombas, lounge in Bombas, dress them up, dress them down, but always give back in Bombas. Because with every item purchased, another is donated. Bombas, comfort worth calling for. Go to bombas.com/audio and use code AUDIO for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com and use code AUDIO.
I mean, this is what we have to talk about right now after 3 games. They're fine. They're a good team. They had a bad opening series, whatever. They won one of those games. And now we get to look ahead to a national series and Andrew Painter's debut. That's going to be cool. I'm excited for that, even if it's on a Tuesday.
I'm excited that it's going to be warm. Yeah. I can't believe I saw you before Saturday's game. You're there with your dad. You guys were up in what,
204.
204, which are sneaky good seats, except for when the wind is blowing in that direction and it's 45 degrees out.
Except then. Yeah, the concourse.
Did you walk around the yard at all, or no?
Oof,
Did you
no.
did you walk around the yard? No, you didn't.
No, we were straight to our seats, and I tried to do a little bit of scouting because I want to bring my daughter to a game at some point this year. She'll turn 5 in July. And I want to get her out I haven't brought her to a baseball game yet. I know she won't last the full 9, and I know I'll probably spend more time at, the yard and the playgrounds that are around the park, but just want to get her there. And so I was trying to do a little bit of mental noting about where different things were around the concourses as we went around to hopefully
There's a new playground.
Yeah, to hopefully scout out some spots for her. So it was kind of like a dual mission. I was there. I did not get to a game last year, which was strange. It was kind of a weird year for other reasons. So that was my first game back in Citizens Bank Park since 24. I was greeted with the appropriate amount of weirdness in that game on Saturday. So I was happy that the bank didn't forget me. But yeah, it's still a season to be excited about, all this stuff.
What was your dad's hottest take during the game?
My dad and I came to an agreement of something that we'd only just noticed, maybe because there was a speaker in the back of our section and it was more prevalent where we were. I wish they would stop playing some hit of music or something in between every single pitch.
Yes.
I would like for that to stop.
And I like the little organ thing that they've done.
Yes.
Right? That they have a guy who pre-records the tracks, and then somebody can, it's not, the guy's not playing the organ live.
Yeah.
And they'll do it as like sort of the outro for when every inning ends. I love that. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
They'll use the organ music sometimes between pitches, but you're right. There is sound between every single pitch, and this is not just a Citizens Bank Park thing. This is a thing that's happening, I think, at every single stadium, big league stadium. And yes, I guess we sound like the elderly folk when we say this, probably. But it is kind of annoying, right?
It's too much.
It is something I noticed last year. It was I think they've done a good job like improving the in-game presentation and sound and everything at the ballpark at Citizens Bank Park. I think they've done a really good job of that. It was stale for a while, and I think it is totally refreshed, true. And I think it's better. I do think that there is a little bit too much. Now, I'll say this: it was great to catch up with Brad Miller, who former Phillies great / bamboo peddler. Who he is doing some TV work for the Rangers this year.
Yeah, I didn't realize this.
And one of the all-time great guys. And he was saying, a bunch of those Rangers guys, there's a couple younger guys in that team who had never played at Citizens Bank Park, and they were talking about how impressed they were with the crowd, not because of how loud it was or how many people there were or like how, aggressive they were. But what they loved was that they reacted without prompts, prompts from the scoreboard, right? And they picked out 2 instances from opening day that Miller relayed. And Miller said it was when Sanchez came out of the game with 6 scoreless, everyone kind of recognizing that was the end of his day. And, Phillies fans have always been great at that, right? Like knowing when a guy's done and really showing appreciation. Yep. And then Justin Crawford, even before he got the hit, his first major league at bat, I don't know if it was a standing ovation. It was close. I mean, it was a really cool ovation. And Miller said a couple of Rangers players were talking about how it's like there was, there's just people are so knowledgeable, and it just makes for a different atmosphere, a different place when you don't need to be prompted to react that way. And I think he's right. And I do think that is one of the things that they've done a good job of not touching at the ballpark, which is letting things happen organically. Mm-hmm. And I still believe that's why it is one of the best atmospheres. I do.
It gives me a flashback to something Cliff Lee said once upon a time about the crowds at Citizens Bank Park, something to that effect. They don't need a prompt on the scoreboard, something along those lines. This was, of course, back when the team was good and before the dark ages when things needed a little bit of nudging to get some energy into the park. But it is absolutely something that, we as a fan base can pat ourselves on the back about, because we do pay attention. We do realize when these things are happening. We do read, we read your stories. We read Charlotte's stories. We read, and like everybody on the beat, Todd's stories. So we know when things are coming on. Like we know circumstance. We understand 99% of the time when things of import like that are going to happen. I think that is something we can pat ourselves on the back about. And I agree with that. I'm glad it was recognized by the Rangers players and by Bamboo Brad himself, of course.
Great guy.
All right. I think that'll do it. I think that's
not so great. Former Phillies coming into town. One of my favorites, Kevin Franson.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I wonder if one of these days Kevin and I will ever reconcile when I gave him and his season. What would that have been in 20?
Did he block you or something?
No, it's not. I was ready for Crashburn Alley and I gave his season a D because we were giving player grades.
I'm sure he took that very personally.
And he mistakenly attributed it to the Good Fight, which still is another Phillies blog, going around. And it was not them. I sort of hid my eyes in the corner and be like, oh yeah, no.
I'll definitely ask him about this.
No. Kevin, I have nothing against you. No, it was, you ever have, you young folks, you ever have moments of regret in your life where you look back and you wish you had done things differently? I wish I was a little softer about things in the early 2010s with my perspective on baseball. I wish I was a little bit less of a hardhead, a little bit less of a smartass. I kind of feel bad now thinking about grading things like this in retrospect. Maybe, you know what I think it comes from? This is getting way out on a tangent here. One of my favorite music blogs to read is Stereo Gum, really popular.
Yeah.
They don't grade their album reviews. They'll do an album of the week or what they call premature evaluation when there's a big anticipated release coming, and they'll write it up and all this stuff. No, the closest they'll come is they'll pick 5 of their favorite tracks of the week and put them in a list 5-1. That's it. They don't do the pitchfork grading. They don't give, A, B, C, D. They don't do that. They just write it and let the words tell the story. And I kind of wish I was like that from the beginning. I don't really like looking back and thinking, oh, I'm giving these guys a D or whatever. Like I'm some all knowledgeable dude at 23, 24, figuring out what the hell's going on here. Kevin, in a 15-year delay. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I
can't wait to ask him about this. Yeah.
Well, I got the chance to actually look Ken Rosenthal in the eyes virtually and tell him about the time I called him a rumor geyser in the time leading up to the Halladay and Lee, swap back in 2010, because I just didn't believe it. I just didn't believe that was something a team would do at that point. And sure enough, Ken was on it. He knew.
Ken's
he reported. Well, yeah, he's all right. He's been doing this for a little while.
It did happen over this weekend that the Piggies went 3-0. There's your silver lining.
Yeah, what was that? Robert Moore had a walk off.
They have like 19 catchers on the roster, and they still went 3-0.
Right, that's right. Cade Fergus had a walk off. That's right.
Cade Fergus.
And Matt, they took your idea. They used your idea.
I'm not that happy about that, if I'm being honest, because I give Zach Wheeler a lot of credit for playing along with it. But really, I did apologize to him, and he said it wasn't necessary. But like, when you think about it, it's not really a thing that we necessarily need to be joking about. And I sent that, I sent that tweet out, and it was in joking manner, and it was more me thinking about like, minor league promotions are goofy. This would be a really goofy thing, but like having your rib removed for surgery to correct thoracic outlet syndrome is not goofy. I mean, like it's a scary thing for him, and like I don't think he was offended, and he played along, and I give him a lot of credit because I think he handled it with grace. I didn't realize the Pigs were going to go, as over the top with it apparently as they did. That is the minor leagues, I guess. But I don't know. I'm not that proud of that. If we're being totally honest.
Well, fair enough. You know what? There you go. Live. There's another example of me being like, "Oh, that was fun." Oh, nope. Think about it for a second. No, not really.
Well, I mean, me too. I mean, I was the one who sent out the joke, and it was some of the, you got to think. I mean, I don't think it was very fun for him to lose a rib and have to go through this. So, whatever. That's that.
On the positive side, he did apparently bleed velocity a little bit in his 3-inning appearance, but he looked good, right? Another step on the road to recovery.
And he's very happy about it. So
excellent. Good. I'm very excited.
He'll pitch again Friday. He's actually going to get on a plane. He's going to go pitch in North Carolina with the Pigs. They're in Durham this week.
Against the Bulls? Durham?
That's right.
Yeah. All right, good stuff. Yep. I think that's about all we can say from a season opening series loss to the Texas Rangers.
Dud.
What's that?
Stinker. Dud.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of a stinker. Well, at least we had Thursday. They won on the opener, and that's all I'll take away from this. So the Phillies said it 1-2. Going to play the Nationals. Got to win 2 out of these 3. Well, I mean, you don't have to. I would like to see them with 2 out of 3. And we'll see what they can do. Andrew Painter, debut. Tune in for that on Tuesday. That's going to be exciting. We've been waiting a long time for this, and the day is finally almost here. That's basically all we really have to say now. It's 3 games. It either confirms what you thought coming into the year, or you're like me and just waiting for another 40 games to happen before you jump to any conclusions. The Phillies will be fine. That's really all there is to say. As far as we are concerned, here, Phillies Therapy, we're looking to up the output a little bit here. And the way you can tap into some of that, some of these extra bonus episodes that we are planning on recording throughout the coming months, namely after some of these series end. So think about, a little bit later in the week, Wednesday night or Thursday on an off day, something like that. We're going to try and do a little bit more recording on just quick recaps of the series that was. Not a full episode like this necessarily, where we look at the broader picture from a full week, not just the season opening series like this past weekend. If you want to get in on that, well, you can find more info about that on our Patreon. Yes, that's right. It is a Patreon bonus. Patreon.com/Phillies Therapy. You can join our budding and growing community, talk some ball, get some extra episodes. It's $5 a month. That's it. We would love to have you in and be part of this. We're upping what we are offering you this season, just as an extra token of thanks for how successful this whole thing was last year and how grateful we are for all of your support. So again, to get in on that, patreon.com/Phillies Therapy. Okay. I think that is all the housekeeping I need to do for now. Matt, any parting words before we head off into a new week and this national series?
None.
Beautiful. That's all we need. Thank you, everybody, for listening to the first post-series season episode of Phillies Therapy here in 2026. For Matt, I am Paul. Oh, this has been part of the Believe Podcast Network. We will catch you again very soon. A special thanks to our Patreon producer level supporters for this episode. Amy Z, Brian J, Briana W, CallisonGhost, Christopher S, Daniel Y, Hunter R, Ian, Jack S, Jacob, Jaedon M, Jami P, Jason G, Joe M, John S, Kaitlin M, Kodi L, Lindsay, Lisa L, Matt H, Michael W.E.I., Michael W.E.R., Robert R, Timothy G, Tom D, Tom H, Vinay V, Zack, and our anonymous supporters as well. Thank you so much for your support. We'll see you next time.